shortly. Thank you to everybody who was patient. You know, YouTuber problems. Sometimes you gotta throw up a quick video whenever the mobile Mayhem games are supposed to start at the exact same time as the new season dropping. We made it through, though. Yeah, tonight's games should be a blast. Taking a look at the schedule. A few really good matchups. Strike Zone versus Turbulence. Probably going to be a solid one to keep an eye out for. I don't know why the media source... Now, without having the background noise. Strike Zone versus Turbulence is going to be a good one. Infinix versus Nova Imperium. Also, that's probably going to be the match to watch. A rematch of the Season 3 finals of Mobile Mayhem. We got Fearless versus Exit. Fierce versus Tribe, going to be another one to watch. Two teams that have been up toward the top, but have struggled to get any championships in Mobile Mayhem. So, definitely another two to keep an eye on. But we'll have to wait and see if they can manage to come through with a win. It looks like Day's Face is live, and we are good to go. All right, let me full screen it, and I think with that, we should be pretty close to set to get started tonight. Just working our way into the room, and once we're in, we should be good to go. What is your matchup to watch tonight?
I mean, I definitely think, obviously, Infinix will be a phenomenal matchup. I mean, this is going to be like two of the essentially top-tier teams, at least as far as history has provided us. Are you hosting someone still, Bobby?
That is possible. I think it should auto-end the host whenever I go live.
Okay.
I believe, yes.
I just opened the channel and I was like, this isn't Bobby's face. This isn't Mobile Mayhem.
Yeah, I think we should be good. Yep. And that's... Yep. I think we should be good now. Let's see. There we go. Be sent the invite. We are in the one and only Resume. Already a legend in Mobile Mayhem, joining us for game number 1. It is going to be Strike Zone versus Turbulence, which we actually had a matchup for last Tuesday.
Yeah, Resume definitely maybe a little infamous for some plays that were made.
What's good, everybody? We are
obviously phenomenal player. I mean, he was one of the players
are
that
having
I all
a
through
fantastic
the
day today. So as you guys know,
opening of this season had mentioned, hey, if there's any team, if they weren't to make it, which obviously, here we are, if he wouldn't have made it in, he would have been a good player for some of these teams to potentially recruit some of the ones that particularly were struggling with some rosters. But he's obviously made it in and is looking to make an impact. He's been a pretty good slayer overall. So definitely got to be looking forward to the plays that he makes. And, again, maybe getting over some of the nerves from early on. I mean, again, not trying to be rude or mean or anything, but definitely can't have any bomb diffuses get dropped in Mobile Mayhem. So.
It does look like our rosters are in. One of the players that nuked me today, actually playing in this game today.
And you admitted that out loud?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, every live stream that I've been in, that like ever since that has been, oh, did you hear Bobby got nuked? Bobby got nuked. So what happened is, I was solo queuing, and I queued against a 4-stack that had Chaos, Beamed, and 2 other pro players, and the 4-stack that queued in for my team was all master tier. So I think I had one teammate that went 3-36. My KD was positive until I went AFK, and then it kind of went downhill a little bit, but
well, I mean, sometimes it'd be like that.
It do be like that.
Be like that.
Factual. But you live and you learn. Now I know. Don't random queue anymore and find some teammates. But yeah. Players should be readied up, good to go momentarily. In the meantime, appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow. And yeah, once we get beamed ready up, we should be good to hop into game number 1.
Bro, there was 2 Bobbies on stream, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I opened a file, and it went right over top of you. All right.
All right, well, this should be a pretty good matchup to start us off with. I mean, again, a lot of new players in between these two teams. This week will officially be the roster lock, so I don't know, maybe the admin can double check my information here. Has the roster lock already went in at the beginning of week 2, or is it at the end of week 2? Hopefully someone has answers, but we'll get that to you guys when we can. We are in the game, and we already have So opening things up with a double kill.
Whoa.
Resume was able to pick up a single kill for his team, but this has been a pretty blatant open start here for the side of Turbulence.
Yeah, So looking really good off the start. 4 kills on the board already, using the HVK, which I keep hearing players talk about it. Some players don't like it, and some people think it's the most broken thing in the game. You can see So already having a great start. Poppy trying to push the stairway right there, not having a whole lot of success. So insta-melts another 2 players right there. Not really a whole lot going the way of Strike Zone, but the one and only Resume coming in. 3 kills on the board for his team. Chaos waiting on the inside, not going to be able to make the push in. 2 kills to his name, and right off the bat, it's going to be a quick 50-point lead for Turbulence.
Yeah, and that's a big opening start for them. I mean, we would kind of, expect this to be the case. Names like Chaos, Space, Beamed, Slothy, obviously. They are no new players to Mobile Mayhem. They're all kind of veterans that have played on other teams. For the most part, they've been subs on other rosters that kind of decided to do their own thing. Which is funny, because Beamed was labeled a sub last season, ended up being the top fragger for the game, and consistently played for his team. So definitely keep an eye out for him. So having a great performance right now. 6 on the board, and does actually get dropped there. 63 points to 11 right now in favor of Turbulence. And this, while it looks bad, definitely could turn around. This is one of those maps, Bobby, that we talked about is just so detrimental on trying to anchor those spawns. So there's a lot of opportunity here still for Strike Zone to come through and potentially make a big turnaround if they're able to get on point and get the anchors. Yeah,
they've got control of spawns, and they're perfectly set up for next. It's all going to come down to them winning those gunfights. We've seen that time and time again. Teams, they're able to set up really well to try to take control of spawns or take control of a flag, but if you don't win those gunfights, it's not going to go your way. We do see Resume in the back. He's been one of the better gunners over on Strike Zone, so to have him anchoring spawns, definitely not a bad sign. He's pretty much been untouched so far in Beam, just not able to make anything happen. Resume's actually going to laser him from behind, but he will get taken out. That's probably going to allow Turbulence to flip the spawns. We do see Beamed anchoring now, and with Strike Zone spawning all the way across the map, more than likely not going to be able to get a break right here. We see Space getting a 2-piece, Beam getting the major assist right there. They've gone and they've taken control of spawns, but you got to wonder whether or not this is maybe too little too late, especially with Beamed, with the Annihilator just not letting them touch the hardpoint right now, continuing to laser with it, and he does finally get taken out. It looks like we could potentially have a push in for Strike Zone, but with only 10 seconds on the board, it's just not worth it.
Though. And Turbulence have done a great job here, Bobby. They already have anchor for next hardpoint. I mean, they could close out on this hardpoint again. This is one of the harder hardpoints to break in. There are multiple entrances. They're all kind of close range with a lot of viability to get set up early. And again, these long hardpoint respawns just can make it very, very punishing if you're not able to get in early. We did see a couple kills coming through there for Strike Zone, but I mean, this is looking like a pretty game 1 right now. Turbulence shy of, Resume maybe getting in here and trying to take things here. GG?
Yeah, with Chaos getting the War Machine through to take out Resume and one of the other Strike Zone players, they just don't really stand much of a shot right here. You can see one player still on the point, and spawns are actually going to flip somehow. A little bit of an overextension right there. It looks like Resume is going to get a frag with the Pred missile, but even with Poppy spawning over by the Hardpoint, just not having good enough game. Only 4 kills for him using the S36. You got to wonder if maybe he needs to take his gun selection a little bit more seriously, as the S36 is just not viable against this level of competition. We do see Turbulence coming out on top pretty easy. So, no surprise. Started out hot, finishing top frag with 17 kills on the board. Beam not too far behind with 16 to his name.
And, you know, this may hinder it a little bit, just, I mean, looking at Chaos down in 3rd place. But the role Chaos played here in this game is so incredibly strong. A minute 31 as far as cap time. He did great jobs making rotations over, anchoring spawns. But then looking at the stat line as well, I mean, he may only be 12 and 6,
with Beamed,
but
with the Annihilator just not letting them touch the hard point, right?
That's big plays that really didn't attribute too much to score, but, I mean, it just did a great job, again, anchoring those spawns, making the rotations, helping his teammates secure the kills, and Chaos, definitely big performance that you can't sleep on.
For sure. Getting ready to hop into standoff, search and destroy right here. You got to be expecting, just with all the experienced veteran players that we've got over on Turbulence, not a great shot that Strike Zone's going to be able to take them out. We have seen Resume making some really good plays for his team, so we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to continue to do that and maybe carry them to a victory. They're going to need more out of Poppy. Seeing him rocking the S36 as they're just getting destroyed right there, definitely not a good sign for them. So hopefully they'll be able to get him to turn things around and give their team a shot at getting a win right here against one of the top teams in Mobile Mayhem, I would say, right now in Turbulence.
Yeah, Turbulence, again, it's really an MVP roster coming through here. I mean, they fought for their spot. They did great all through the preliminary rounds of the season. And again, a lot of that's going to boil down to a lot of these names are not unfamiliar with Mobile Mayhem. I mean, Slothy has been a phenomenal player in Mobile Mayhem. Beamed, I believe, was on, if I remember correctly, Fierce last season. As a sub, again, ended up playing in the main roster about all season long. Top frag for them pretty consistently and is now doing the same here. Getting into Search and Destroy, there's a little bit of opportunity if Poppy or GG are able to get any of those opening snipes. But when you're going up against names like Space and Soso, that can definitely be a rough position to be in.
We do see the plant coming on in for Turbulence. No surprise to see an aggressive push over toward A off the start. We got Hey trying to hit a snipe, actually able to take out Chaos right there. Saint picks up one on the Space as well, but Soso waiting in the back with that sniper. He's been so good with it so far in Mobile Mayhem Season 4. He's going to go ahead, peek Tractor side, not able to land the shots, though. He's in a tough spot, hits the shot onto Saint. Ryzen's able to get the trade, but he takes out Ryzen as well. Now a 1v1. Resume can't do anything. 4 kills in 1 round coming in for Soso, who is putting on a clinic with that Locust.
Yeah, and Soso had a great opening round in Hardpoint as well. So coming through with the Locust there, picking up the kills that he needed, that the team needed. I mean, 4 in 1 round for the sniper on the team. And again, he's one of the ones that we mentioned that I believed right from the start that Strike Zone was going to struggle to compete at that long range, and that has been the case. We do have a bat out for Slothy, so potentially seeing some bat kills here.
Oh my gosh.
One for him. Feels pretty bad, man, but Soso, man, rocking 5 kills now, able to pick up an opening pick there onto GG as well. Now it's just Resume versus Ryzen, and it's looking like we're going to get a free bomb plant coming out of the side of Turbulence.
Yeah, Soso has been so good with the sniper so far. Slothy, unfortunately, not able to get bat kill number 2, so we will now be in a 2v2, Soso and Beamed, both with a sniper in hand. Soso will drop Beam by himself. Hasn't picked up a frag yet. Hit markers onto Resume right there. With the player pushing around the corner. Won't stand much of a shot, and Ryzen will take him out. To even things up, they'll be able to get the defuse, and the score will be tied at 1-1. Actually, a pretty solid round for Strike Zone, especially given how much they struggled not only in Week 1, but in Game 1. So we'll see if that's something that they can keep up heading into the later rounds right here.
Yeah, we definitely need to see the snipers come a little bit more online here. GG was able to pick up 2 kills for the team that round, and then as well, Ryzen obviously having a strong performance there, able to help things out. They were able to even things out. I do think either way it's going to be an uphill battle for them, but they definitely need to slow the momentum of Turbulence. Again, Turbulence is one of the stronger teams in the season, at least in my opinion. Despite being a new roster, that is one thing they will have to work on, is some of that team synergy. But they are absolutely within the means of being able to do so. So definitely can't sleep here on Turbulence. And Beamed actually struggling a little bit to get kills on the board right now, but I think it's because, I mean, mostly Soso and Slothy have just been such dominating forces.
And we saw right there, Poppy once again, pulling out the bat, just didn't want to run any type of an actual gun, and it's just hard to understand that as a primary approach, especially in Search and Destroy when you're going to be in face-to-face gunfights. It's one thing to maybe pull it out whenever you got a sniper and respawn or something like that, but to have it as your primary weapon just seems like a mistake. We do see him finally picking up a frag, and just like that, he's going to go ahead, pull the bat out once again. Now looking to push over toward Grandma's. We got Slothy downstairs, going to be ready for him. He's got the bat. He ends up getting the kill right there, and it seems I may have underestimated him. It's now going to be a 3-man advantage. Hey is able to get the frag with the sniper. He spots Soso over on the other side. Gets another kill with the bat. He is out of his mind right now, making a triple. Poppy with the 3-piece with the bat, and I take back anything that I said previous to this. He's the greatest bat player of all time.
I mean, I remember you talking about him, you know, just coming into the season. You had mentioned that he's a player that is known for getting kills with the bat. And that was some fancy footwork around the hay bales to get the kill onto, I believe it was Space at the time. Space does pick up a wall bang, though, onto Saint here. That does give a 1-player advantage going over to the side of Turbulence, and then another trade. Slothy returns it, though!
Big play right there. Resume going to be the only player alive. Will spot Space. Drops quickly. Just enough time for his teammate to get the bomb plant down, and just like that, Turbulence is going to bounce back, retaking the lead right here. Not expecting to see a whole lot of 3-pieces with bats, but Poppy 3 times in a row and able to capitalize. He's pulling out. The Arctic once again does miss that initial shot. Gonna rotate over toward Grandma's, see if he can find a shot from up above. Not happening quite yet, and pretty solid defense right now with 1 player over on the A site for Turbulence. Poppy's gonna get hit marker right there, forced to pull out the bat, and now just trying to gather information. Resume is gonna get the bomb plant down over on A, and just like that, 2 players will drop for strike zone. Resume looks like maybe lagging a little bit, but Ryzen able to pick up a frag right there. 1 player still inside spawn for Turbulence, still checking those broken wall angles, and we're going to need some type of a push right here for Turbulence. We're actually going to have Space dropping as well as Beamed, and just like that, Slothy's all by himself. Resume picks up the final frag to tie us back up at 3-3.
Yeah, Resume struggled a long time through this game to come online, but had a really big round there. Found a really clean kill to open things up in Soso, and that really kind of led the ability for the team to make that push in. He does have the bomb again now, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. GG does get a little bit of a hit marker there from Space, but he will survive, and it looks like the rotation's coming over. The plant is going down for Resume, and this is going to give Strike Zone a pretty decent opportunity to go ahead and start getting set up.
And we got Poppy pulling out the bat once again, trying to push toward mid here, lagging a little bit, it actually looks like, but he has perfect positioning. Could have another 2-piece right here. Gets 1, make it 2 once again, and this man is unstoppable. Very nearly had the 3-piece. Slothy finally shut him down, but hey, the only one alive. Space is going to snipe him over on Tractor's side. He'll be able to get the defuse. Even though it was looking pretty good with Poppy picking up another 2-piece with the bat, they weren't able to close that one out, and Turbulence is able to take back the lead at 4-3, but Strike Zone playing this a lot closer than I had expected, looking like we can potentially go to around 11.
Yeah, we absolutely could, Bobby, and this is a great position for Strike Zone to be in, coming back off of such a kind of one-sided loss in that first matchup of Hardpoint, which, again, it was Hardpoint Summit, which is very difficult, especially to get behind. But, man, Poppy has, what, 5 bat kills on the board now?
Something like, he definitely has
5
more
for
bat
7?
kills than he has like regular weapons, and Chaos very nearly dropped to his bat right there. Just was able to spot him in time. Not quite able to get the frag onto Hey, but he does find Saint. Hey, sliding the side, but not able to land his shots either. Ryzen and Resume going to be the only players remaining, and Resume the only one anywhere close to the bomb site. Ryzen's going to be able to push Broken right here. Chaos trying to go for the defuse. He's not going to be able to get it, but Slothy is able to get his trade right there. He's going to be able to get the defuse for himself, and now only 1 round needed for Turbulence to be able to close this one out in a 2-0.
Yeah, and Turbulence, despite giving up a couple rounds here, in which, you know, we may not have expected it to go that way, you really can't sleep on the sneakiness of Strike Zone. I mean, it's come through strong for them a couple times. I'm still, I mean, very favorited for Turbulence to close things out 2-0 here. Shy of a big turnaround for Strike Zone, so definitely keeping an eye out. Soso does get the opening pick onto Ryzen, and that's a crystal clear opportunity now for the side of Turbulence. You're in potentially the final round. You do have a player advantage. You're got a position where the enemy team is forced right now to fight against the clock, as we see Saint is hanging back kind of behind. Oh, is that a big 2-piece for GG there, though?
Yeah, definitely very much needed for Strike Zone. That's going to be able to, or that's going to allow them to push over into a bomb site. Plant will go down, Beam trying to peek that long angle and see if maybe he can get a frag with the AR, but challenging a sniper in this situation going to be less than ideal. Hey, or GG. Could I get an admin ruling on how his name's pronounced? Slothy going to be the only player alive, and he's got the AK-117, but not able to hit any shots. Saint drops him quickly. Staying alive for the time being. Only 2 rounds from taking the dub here, but it will require 3 rounds in a row in total for Strike Zone, so they're going to need to make something big happen right here. Keeping an eye on Poppy, seeing if maybe he can make some more bat kills happen. He's going to pull out the concussion nade and see if that'll allow his teammates to push back alley. Unfortunately, will not land on anybody right there, but he's going to spot people. I didn't even know that was a potential angle. Takes out Beamed right there. First blood coming in. Tries to hit the wall bang here as well and pulls out the bat. Not the right place for it, though. He will drop to Slothy, and now a 1-man down for each team. We do see Hey or GG getting a snipe right there. Saint picks one up as well, so 2-man advantage coming in. Space able to get the trade, and just like that, quick closeout right there for Strike Zone, and we are going to be going to round 11.
Yeah, Poppy and GG have really stepped this game up for the side of Strike Zone. I mean, we said at the beginning I thought they were going to struggle, and they have very quickly shot both of us up. I know right when you were mentioning that Poppy was struggling earlier, he picked up that triple kill. GG also struggled for quite a bit, and in these last couple rounds has picked up some crystal clear, or just beautiful picks for the team, including the double kill in the round previous to last, which helped them stay in the game.
We got a really big frag coming in right here. Beamed is actually going to drop off the start. Unfortunately for Ryzen, he's going to drop to Saint, and we are evened up very quickly after it looked like Strike Zone was going to finally be able to take the advantage. The bomb's going to go down. The pressure is on once again. Snipers coming into play. Hey, trying to land the shot through that building. One of the crazier wallbang spots on the map, but not able to make it happen yet. They've got to try to push the issue pretty soon here, or else they're not going to have enough time. He's trying to get that off angle right here to see if maybe he can find a pick. He's able to do so. Chaos drops. Now a 1-man advantage. Space will drop as well. Soso gets a frag, but it's not going to be in time. And just like that, Strike Zone cleans things up, and they're actually going to take the win here in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, and that's big for them coming up against, again, what I would have considered to be one of the stronger teams moving in Mayhem. This is a big performance for them. No matter what happens here at this point, just to get to Game 3 is absolutely huge for them. So, great performance out of Saint there towards the end of the game. GG and Poppy stepped up big for the team in a couple really clutch rounds that looked like they were going in favor based off of a couple opening picks that we saw out of... I want to say it was Soso got an opening pick 1 round, and Space got an opening pick another round at 5 rounds in Search and Destroy. So, I mean, that's like a great position to be in if you are the leading team who comes off of that Hardpoint win, and they were unable to close it out. Ended up giving was that 3 rounds in a row over to the side of Strike Zone. So Strike Zone, great plays coming out of these guys.
Without a doubt. And we are going to be going to game number 3 in our first matchup of the night. Should be interesting to see how it plays out. Seeming to be stronger performances out of Poppy, who struggled a lot in game number 1. I believe he only had 4 kills in total in Hardpoint, and coming out of Search and Destroy, I think he had 9 or 10. So I don't know if he's going to have as much success with the bat in Domination as he did in Search and Destroy, but we'll have to wait and see as we get ready to hop into our final game of the matchup.
Yep, so this should be a good one to end on. Domination for Turbulence does seem to be a little bit more of a favorited game mode, so I would expect Turbulence to come out through strong here. They overall seem to have the better slayers for respawn. But again, the snipers for Strike Zone came through strong in Search and Destroy there, and I think that's something that the teams that go up against Strike Zone in the future definitely need to look out for.
Without a doubt, it looks like we will have Strike Zone over on Woodside. It's very aggressive push over toward Trailer coming in for Turbulence off the start. So sending out the trip mines. A couple players will go backside. So very nearly taken out by his own trip mine, but we can see he is currently rocking Hardline, most likely an indicator that he's going to be using Persistence as well, which is not too surprising to see, especially in the current competitive meta for COD Mobile. Only 1 kill on the board so far for Strike Zone, not a good sign, especially with all the kills coming in for Beam, Space, just absolutely frying right now. Beamed, looking like he started, and definitely not the start that Strike Zone was looking for. Resume is able to pick up a frag as they go for the trade over onto C. They're going to be able to get it, but with the kills just absolutely stacking, along with that additional factor that you have in Persistence for Turbulence, this is not a good sign for Strike Zone.
Yeah, not a great spot for Strike Zone to be, to give that B cap up very quick there. GG losing another gunfight there, unfortunately for him, and does actually have the sniper out this time around. Poppy has decided to pull out the chopper, and gets dropped there as Beam had a great flank over the top there in mid. And this is a solid hold right now for the side of Turbulence. And again, this is a strong respawn team that they have put together here, so definitely be looking for that. I am just constantly shocked by Beamed that he has never really gone into that Persistence role. Right now, GG and Beamed, the only 2 not using Persistence in this game. And Beamed is consistently a top fragger in a respawn, so I'm kind of confused almost why Beamed does not make that jump into Persistence, try to get some score streaks going, and maybe help the team out a little bit.
Yeah, GG's going to be able to hit the 1 snipe to knock Beamed off of his streaks, but he already got pretty much close to full value, and just like that, we are already triple capped, and it's only 24 points on the board for Strike Zone. It just does not really look like they've got a shot, and seeming like Turbulence, if anything, was just mad that they gave up a game at all. We see Beam pushing in right there, not going to be able to get the final kill, but So taking out the 2 remaining players on the outside of Wood. Now 70 points on the board and only 27 right here for Strike Zone. 16 kills for So, 14 for Beam, combined for 30. I believe if you combine everybody on Strike Zone, they may have like 12 or 13 right now.
Yeah, and it's a rough spot to be in. This is like one of the top most dominated or one-sided domination games that we've seen in Mobile Mayhem. Shy of, I think we saw like 17 points for one team last week. At least at the end of the first round. That So and Beamed obviously doing mad work. Chaos, though, big triple kill there with the War Machine. And this is looking like this could potentially be another early cap going over the side of Turbulence. And the Turbulence very likely going to look to close this game 3 out. They've got to be a little bit heated there, Bobby, coming off of that Search and Destroy matchup that they were ahead. If they win here, they're only getting that 10 points instead of the 20-point sweep.
Yeah, and we do see So now looking to take the double cap over on the C flag. He's going to pick up the frag onto Poppy, and just like that, double cap coming in, not a single flag going the way of Strike Zone, and Soso seemed to just be doing everything perfectly. Gets the wall bang through wood right there. We got one player trying to rotate through. As Gigi is going to look to pick up the frag, but Soso up top just frying right now. Doesn't find one right there, as we will have an assist coming in from his teammate Chaos, and the double cap remains as we see Turbulence continuing to stack the score streak. Soso already up at 21, beamed at 16. Actually having a slower second half, which is saying something given that he's still more than double of the top fragger over on Strike Zone. So we do have Gigi taking out Soso, but at the cost of his own War Machine. Everybody now in double digits for Turbulence, and more than likely this is going to be a pretty quick finish in Domination.
Yeah, I mean, it's so far been the case. Again, the Turbulence team is incredibly strong at respawn, and I'm excited to see them go in the future up against some of these other teams that are really, really strong respawn teams. You know, Infinix, really strong team across the board, so that's one I'm definitely excited to see them playing against, which I, obviously will be coming up in some of the near future. Nova Imperium, another incredibly strong team, so that's big for this team to come through with such a strong respawn performance. They definitely need to tighten things up a little bit in Search and Destroy. But, I mean, 2 of the 3 game modes that we play each week is going to be obviously respawn, so it's good for them to come through with such a strong opening.
Yeah, we got Beamed heading up top right here, picking up a couple more kills. Will be able to take out Gigi, and seeing if he can maybe find a couple more, maybe lagging a little bit as he's going to slide out of top 10, pulls out that Annihilator, see if he can maybe make it a clean 20, which he's able to do right there now, pushing bottom side as well, picks up the frag on the Horizon, around the corner onto Saint as well, and that will be a very solid win for Turbulence as they get the win 150-64.
Yeah, and that was a great show of force from Turbulence there. And, again, this is a team that I really want to see go up against kind of those top contenders from last season. Although, obviously, we've had some roster changes on a couple of the teams. I mean, Infinix is one that did pick up another new player this season that we haven't seen yet. I believe his name was Dante. So not really sure what's going on with that, because I believe he's listed in the main roster, and Tempo is listed as a sub. And Tempo is such a strong player for Infinix last season. So maybe we'll see him coming through here in this next matchup that we have of Infinix versus Nova Imperium. Again, 2 of those top teams that we love to see face each other. But Strike Zone, this is actually a really solid team, especially with their teamwork in Search and Destroy, that I definitely look forward to see if they're able to bring things together and have a little bit stronger performance in Respawn. Even if they don't get the hang of Hardpoint, they need to pick up either Hardpoint or Domination to try to even things out a little bit.
For sure, we're getting ready to hop in to game number 2. It's GG. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Infinix versus Nova Imperium. I would say this is the matchup that I am most looking forward to tonight. Game 1, gonna be Hardpoint Crossfire. Keep in mind, we do right now have a rematch of our finals for Season 3 of Mobile Mayhem, so should be interesting to see how this plays out. We haven't seen any gameplay yet from the new AGR SMG. Did release just minutes ago in the release of the new Battle Pass, so we'll see whether or not that's something that comes into play tonight as well. And just FYI, for those of you, I don't know if I've actually said this officially, but from now on, Mobile Mayhem, at least as far as the streams go, will only be 4 games. So all 6 games will be run, but 2 of them will be run off-stream just to try to make sure that the streams aren't constantly going up to 3 hours, because I am an old man and I can't be staying up till 10 p.m. every night. So we had to cut it down a little bit to save my sleep schedule, but we try to make sure we get the most exciting matches for you guys to watch. So hopefully, ultimately, it'll be a better watching result for you guys, and we'll be sure to keep you guys updated on the scores for the other matches as well.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a good one to be looking out for. Um, I don't know, are the off-stream matches, are they getting recorded or not?
I
I
do
mean,
not know.
will we? Okay, so I don't know if we are doing that, but that would be good to get those for um viewable content at least.
Definitely. Let's see. Let me
So
invite
as
Scorpion.
an update for you guys for the off-stream match, it does look like we have Exiled 1-2-0. So that will be the score of that matchup. And they're currently not being recorded, but that may be something we work on in the future, guys. So we will have to see.
Yup. Working on getting our next two teams loaded in. Once we do that, we should be good to go for game number 2. Like I said, Infinix versus Nova Imperium. For this one, I don't know who I've got. I mean, it's tough to beat regular season Infinix. We've seen them struggle in the postseason, but regular season Infinix is just a different beast.
Yeah, absolutely. Infinix is a team that constantly dominates throughout the regular season, so better of them.
Definitely taking a look at the standings. Currently, teams up at 20 points. Turbulence is at 20, but that's taking into account their win tonight. Or were they already at 20? I think. Wait. I'm not 100% positive about that one. We do obviously have Strike Zone still down at 0 points, taking 2 losses. Infinix versus Nova Imperium. And Infinix actually dropped a map last week. But what we saw with them was very similar to what we saw with Turbulence just now. And Turbulence actually does get bumped up to 40 points now. What we saw with Infinix was that they ended up dropping the Search and Destroy, and then they bounced back with just an absolute dominant performance. I think it was probably the most dominant performance we've ever seen in a game of Domination, especially in Mobile Mayhem. So that was definitely really, really crazy to watch. We'll see if they maybe maintain a little bit more consistency throughout the match tonight and avoid going to a game of Domination. But going up against a team like Nova Imperium, you definitely got to give it all that you got.
I certainly think there was some trolling involved last week.
Wow. Double raid, Noah, and Tatio. I appreciate it. Can we get some raid hype?
I think Infinix gave up a little bit too much ground too early and ended up paying for it in the long run. Towards the end of their matchup, they did try to take it a little bit more seriously, but at that point it was just a little too late. I mean, you gave a lot of momentum over and you paid for it. So hopefully that's something that they've learned, or learned from, I should say, and only time will tell.
Yep. Appreciate the raid from Noah and Tatio. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome, everybody. We're getting ready to hop into our matchup of the night in Mobile Mayhem. Nova Imperium versus Infinix, our repeat of Season 3 champion. So it's definitely going to be a good one. It looks like... I mean, I just want to see somebody do gameplay with the freaking AGR because I have not seen it used. I haven't really used it myself outside of Battle Royale, so I'm interested to see how it's going to actually play out as far as competitive play goes and everything else. We do have Swag loading in right here, so hopefully his teammates will soon follow and we'll be good to go as we get ready to hop into game number 1, which is going to be Hardpoint Crossfire.
And it's definitely a big one for them to jump on into. Crossfire, a new map to our rotation. And this is a map that Infinix did struggle on last week, so that is something that we have to keep in mind. We'll have to see, if it was a fluke last week, or if they weren't ready for the map, or what we have going on. There's obviously a lot of opportunity for a lot of these newer teams that, again, we felt like may struggle quite a bit. But Strike Zone, we just watched. They had actually a really big performance where I didn't, expect them to.
Yeah, it's I mean, all these teams have a lot on the line, and you can see just the way, even since the start of Mobile Mayhem, the way the competitive scene has grown. But even seeing teams like 100 Thieves announcing that they're taking an interest in Call of Duty Mobile, and seeing more of these bigger names starting to actually make strides towards building teams and everything else, whether that would be in the current season of COD Mobile Championships or whether that would be in the upcoming season. Just really exciting things coming to the competitive scene for Call of Duty Mobile. So, all these teams wanting to be on the forefront, a lot of these players finally reaching the age where they can actually be qualified to play in the COD Mobile Championships. I believe Vague's birthday was recently. Now, I don't know if he was actually turning 18 or if he was just trolling. But regardless, lots of these players trying to not only practice as much as they can, but also get their name out there, knowing that some of those bigger teams are watching.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's huge for the mobile esports scene as well. I mean, mobile esports is something that has been growing over the course of years. So pretty excited to see, as you mentioned, 100 Thieves is, I mean, Nade Shot historically, obviously a Call of Duty legend. So not super shocked that he's showing some interest here, but again, only time will tell.
Yep. But with that being said, we should have most of our players getting loaded in soon here. Taking a little bit longer than usual, but this is just the way that it goes. I don't know what this copy pasta is in my chat. Mods, can you please? Oh my god. Okay. Oh my gosh. Mods! Help! 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 Oh lord.
I remember you're on that 2-minute delay, yo.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to ban people as fast as I can, but with 600 people in chat, this is not going to be an easy task. Yo. Holy freak. Zim, did you start this? I remember you participating in the copy pasta last time.
To be fair, a lot of people participated in it last time.
Yeah, that's true. But he's supposed to be held to a higher standard than everybody else.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Somebody said follow Zim, he's the leader. Oh my gosh. Zim, we're gonna have to have a talk after stream. All right.
Zim, the man, the myth, the legend.
Just waiting for a couple more Nova Imperium players, and we should be good to go. Probably waiting on Vague and Zealous, if I had to guess. You guys can't even see what I'm looking at. There we go. Chat saying Vegas 9. My bad, chat. You're right. Oh, there's Vig.
Vig has been having some really strong performances with oh boy.
Oh, the shotgun?
The shotgun, yeah.
They actually nerfed the shotgun into oblivion, so that will not be happening anymore.
Yikes. Well, that is big unfortunate.
Both the KRM and the Buy 15 got just completely nerfed into nothing, so probably won't see a whole lot of use unless somebody just decides to pull out like maybe the HS2126 or something. For the most part, Not anticipating that we'll be seeing those in play. The buy 15 is like slightly usable, but it's a lot worse than it was before.
A lot worse than it was before.
Yep. And there we go.
I believe that was the one he was doing good on too. I mean, is the KRM still alright, or?
No, the KRM got nerfed worse than the buy 15.
Yikes.
Yep.
So
The KRM's pretty
much.
much completely unusable. So, I don't know if that was preparation for stage 5 or what it was, but RIP. And for everybody asking when the Deagle's coming out, we said this beforehand, but based on the fact that it wasn't one of the Battle Pass guns, you can typically predict that it's going to be one of the mid-season guns. But yeah, we do have the Deagle coming to the game as well. Well,
that's good, because it certainly has been a much-needed pistol upgrade for COD Mobile. I mean, I was shocked when he told me there was only 2.
Yep.
So.
And what was I going to say? Mid-season. I cannot. Okay. I'm completely blanking. It looks like we are good to go. What was I going to say? I know they got akimbo deagles, but that's not what I was thinking. Oh, Crossfire. Oh, wow. This is so weird. All right. Mental reset. We do see Swag pulling out the AGR, a.k.a. the SMG version of the AUG. I believe that's what it is in Modern Warfare as well. So I'm going to take a look right here and see what he's got for us. And getting concussion right off the start.
We do have a Tempest in play for Cheto, so definitely be keeping an eye out for that. Cheto, once again, kind of missing some shots we would expect him to land, so gonna have to keep an eye on him. We do have Dante playing now, so that is going to be a little bit different for the side of Infinix. Obviously, like we mentioned, he's going to be taking the place of Tempo, which again, Tempo is such a big player for the side of Infinix, and I'm kind of shocked to see him not here with us right now.
Yeah. Probably going to be a big loss for them. We see Vague pulling out the AGR, does pick up a frag right there, looking like decent time to kill. I'm not sure we're going to say it's an absolute meta changer, but looking pretty consistent all the way through for most of the players that are using it right now. We do see Swag on the point, cleaning up the rest of that scrap time, and Infinix already rotated out, pretty good to go. Lots of HVKs in play as Tatia with 4 kills, trying to hold down that top side, but High will manage to laser him out right there. Does pick up nice little 2-piece, make it a 3-piece, and trying to poke a hole in this defense, but with spawns going the way of Infinix, it's going to be tough for them. Dante is going to be able to take him out, and Swag, seeing if he can maybe get the push in right here. A lot of the usage of this AGR is going to come down to whether or not they're using the 5.56 attachment. So nice thing about it is it's basically a hybrid. You can throw that on, turn it into an AR, or not use it and have it be an SMG. But so far, Infinix looking really, really good. We do have Nova Imperium trying to take control of top side, but this honestly seems like a little bit too late for it to be worth it for them to make this push. We do have High on the bottom side, but with everybody spawning out for Infinix right here, it's going to be tough for him to get a one-man break.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a struggle, and this is going to be one of the more exciting matchups, at least in my opinion. So right now, Infinix having a lead. I mean, I can't really call it a shock, but I mean, we're at a point where it can still go either way. This map does function for Hardpoint similarly to Summit in that a lot of these corner... Actually, I guess I should say more towards Crash.
Mm-hmm.
The respawns aren't quite as far away as Summit, but these corner hardpoints are incredibly hard to break, and the respawns are very unforgiving, so keep an eye out for that. So far, we obviously have both of these teams racking up some big kills. Hacks, however, one of the players struggling to come online right now, as he does get gunned down by Dante there as well, and Infinix are just extending their lead at this point.
Yeah, and Cheto seeming to find that rhythm. He had actually struggled a little bit in last week's play, but looking really good right now. We don't typically see him sniping in respawns, but it makes a lot of sense on Crossfire as it is one of the longest maps in the game. Lots of different angles that you're able to play. So you can see 8 kills on the board and a little bit of objective time for him as well. Going to give a really good lead to Infinix. And if you're Nova Imperium, you have got to hold this hard point as long as possible. I mean, ideally, you would like to give up no time to Infinix right here. We see Vague taking out the vehicles behind so he doesn't have to worry about any explosion damage, sending out smokes as well, trying to keep his teammates safe for the time being. They've got control of the hard point, but Tatio will be able to get the frag onto Hex, and now only 2 players remain on the hard point. Vague holding down the angle, actually shreds right there. Now 6 kills on the board for him, but with Infinix spawning out all around the hard point right now, it's all going to be on to Zealous and High to try to hold this hard point, and High, now by himself, drops to Envoy just like that. Infinix gets the break, actually a quick retake, but they will manage to maintain control, and now only 30 more points needed for Infinix to close out Game 1.
Yeah, and Infinix are doing a great job here. Dante proving to be a valuable pickup for them. He's crossed into double digits. He's only 3 kills behind Tatio, who's top fragging right now. Make that 2 kills behind Envoy, as Envoy was able to pick up a kill there as well. Cheto approaching the double digits as well. UG struggling a little bit behind for 7. But I mean, again, Hack just really struggling to find any kind of groove here. 4 kills on the board as we're getting very, very close to an Infinix win. Still very possible for Nova Imperium to turn this around, but it's a long journey ahead. They've got about 70 points to go just to catch up to Infinix at this point. They cannot afford to give up any trickle at the end. They can't afford to give up any trickle at the beginning of a point. So big streaks there coming through from the side of Nova. This is a big opportunity for them.
Yeah, and it looked like High had actually single-handedly ended that gate, or at least ended the hard point. He's going to get taken out by Cheto, but we do have Nova Imperium getting some time on the hill. Swag with 7 kills, not having a great game. Hex has actually picked things up big time as he doubled his kills just now. And Swag chilling all by himself on this hard point. They're back within 30 points. They're going to need to fight with all they've got to get this next hard point going back to P1, but we got Vague marching up into the hard point with a Goliath. Anything short of an Annihilator is not going to make the cut, and he's actually able to take one out right there. Gets another frag, turns around, 6 HP to work with. He's got to try to stay alive right here, but with another teammate on the point as well, and a little bit of a wasted cluster strike on the way in. This is actually looking very good for Nova Imperium. Vague just sitting up there hoping nobody makes any type of a push. Swag holding the stairway, and it looks like they may be able to pull out the W on this one. They're now tied up. We do have Vague getting taken out, and Yuji pushes in the hard point. Perfect time. Nobody there to contest. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about it. And the perfect counter push from him to not only take out the Goliath, but to drop Swag as well. That will allow Infinix to avoid the choke and get the win in game number 1.
And that was a giant clutch play from Yuji there. It was looking very much like Nova Imperium were making the comeback. I mean, again, I said it was going to be a long, hard fight for them if they wanted to do it, and they were within seconds of cleaning up a win. As you mentioned, Yuji coming through, killing the Goliath, dropping the extra body as well. I forget who it was on point at the time. I think it was Swag.
Yep.
I mean, again, Swag and Hax struggled all through this game. I mean, Swag early on didn't struggle as much as Hax, but moving into the second half, when Hax had 4 kills, Swag was at 7, and that was at the, like, 130 to 50 mark. So closing that game out with 7 kills, Swag definitely struggled in the later half. Hax did find a little bit of groove, and I think that actually assisted Nova Imperium in getting so close that match. But it is going to be Infinix taking the win, and moving on into Search and Destroy, it's really a toss-up between these two teams here, because Infinix has historically been a strong Search and Destroy team, but looking over at the side of Nova Imperium, High, Zealous, Hack, Swag, all Search and Destroy players that we know can pull through strong games, and this is going to be a deciding factor on how a lot of the rest of the season could potentially go.
Yep, and with Standoff, Search and Destroy, I mean, I won't say the snipers don't have as big of an impact, but it's easier to minimize their impact just because of your ability to kind of insta-push over to the A side, especially if you are the aggressor on offense, it's a lot different whenever you're on defense. But that could end up going the way of Infinix. We saw Cheto also kind of getting his groove back in game number 1. Was just landing a lot of really good snipes and was at 9 or 10 kills pretty early on. So if he's able to maintain that, could cause some issues for both Swag and if he's sniping high as well. We know that Vague and Zealous are going to frag out. I would say right now, probably the biggest X factor is going to be Hex. He seems to be very hit or miss recently. Has not had as much consistency as he had last season. So if he's able to get some of those push frags and play the Slayer role on the offensive side, we could see Nova Imperium pulling this one out, but could potentially be a 2-0 win for Infinix.
Yeah, absolutely could, and that would obviously be what Infinix would like to see, especially, again, they did not get their 2-0 victory throughout the last season, or throughout the last week. So that's big for them, missing those 10 points. So you definitely got to expect they're going to look to come through with that now and try to turn things around.
We do have Vague pulling out the Fennec right here and trying to take a... That's just not a gunfight that you want to take with a Fennec. Against a gun like the HVK that's going to insta-shred, that's just never going to go your way. He ends up regretting that one quickly as 2 players drop off the start. Hex will drop as well. And Tatio down is a good sign for Nova Imperium, but Swag just not able to make that snipe happen right there, and they're now forced to sit back and play very passive even on the offensive side. He's going to look for the jump shot and actually misses a pretty easy one right there. And just like that, they're forced back into spawn. 1 player on stairs, and Swag's actually going to go for the rotation back alley. See if he can maybe find a pick to open something up for them. Sees 1 player peek in the corner, but he'll sit back high, picks up the frag onto Dante, and now 3 players per team. Zealous is going to drop to Envoy right there, just like that. Infinix back up, but high in the zone right now. Picks up 2 kills. It's a 2v2. Make it a 2v1. High all by himself. He's been hitting his shots, but he's going to need to make something crazy happen. He's not going to be able to do it. Usually catches him off guard, and Infinix will go up 1-0.
Yeah, and this is going to be a battle between these 2 teams. These are 2 of the strongest search and destroy teams in the league right now, so definitely got to keep an eye on these guys, see who's making what kind of strategies. And then again, looking at these opening picks, Cheto right now, beautiful headshot wallbang onto Vague. That takes a lot of ground for High to make up, but he finds the double. Hex finds 3 for the side of Nova Imperium, and that's a big player swing now going over to the side of Nova Imperium, but whoo! This has been a wild round, Bobby.
For sure, we do have players over on the plant, and Zealous able to pick up the frag as his teammate gets the defuse. Nova Imperium gonna bounce back, tie things up at 1-1, looking better right here.
Destroy the objective.
Yeah, and that's a 1-1 tie now for each of these teams, so this is a great opportunity for them again to show what they've got going on. The Fennec is a gun that we've been seeing a lot more, and I think this is one of the maps that if you're going to have a heavy run and gun style, you could potentially run it. It is still a very risky weapon to run because, again, you lose so much in the range department, but still very possible. We do have High down as well as Yuji, and this is pretty even matchup so far. Again, as we expect it to be, moving on into, again, one of the favorite maps for both of these teams, as well as, again, the favorite game mode for both of these teams.
And 2 players that we expected to be the X Factors just not having a big role for Nova Imperium so far, fortunately enough. Vague, Zealous, and High having pretty solid rounds, and they're actually able to clean things up pretty quickly as we go now 2-1 with Nova Imperium taking the lead, but Swag and I think Hex actually started to clean things up a little bit more toward the end of that round, but they've got to see more consistency across the board. Honestly, if you're Infinix, yeah, it's a little surprising to see that Envoy's the only one getting anything going right now, and Cheto's typically one of those players, especially in Search and Destroy, that's one of the bigger contributors, so to see him and Tatio combining for 2 kills so far, definitely got to be hoping for more out of them, but we can see Nova Imperium pretty content to sit back, play for picks. They trust their snipers, High and Swag. Both very experienced, know what they're doing, trying to find that first blood to open up the push over toward the A site, which is for the most part, pretty wide open. I think there might be one player kind of slide peeking it every once in a while, but seems to be a pretty open door, and we'll see if they're going to take that into their hands, as we do see the plant coming in high, trying to land the snipe onto the jumping envoy, but not going to be able to make it happen. He actually hit markers through the wall right there. I don't know how he managed to make that one happen, but ends up getting the assist. One player down for each team. Zealous gets the frag onto Yuji. Swag drops to Tio just like that. Dante's all by himself. We got Vague down below. Dante's going to be able to get the frag, but a 1v3 with the bomb down over on the A site. Not going to be an easy push. Swag's going to spot him right there. He will drop. And Nova Imperium looking really good so far in Search and Destroy, now going up 3-1.
Yeah, this is a big turnaround for Nova Imperium. They came off of some kind of a rough matchup there early on in the first game in Hardpoint. They almost made a huge comeback, and unfortunately were unable to close things out. And again, UG just had a really strong play for the side of Infinix. And so for them to come through strong off of that loss, take a 3-1 lead right now over the side of Infinix, and then have an opening pick here in round 5 as well, dropping Envoy player top fragging for the side of Infinix here, which is, again, very unusual to see Cheto and Tio struggling right now. But that's Swag getting the better half of Cheto there as well.
And Dante, just like that, making an impact. Unfortunately for him, he is going to have Hacks waiting behind him, and now usually all by himself against 4 Nova Imperium players. The bomb plant is going to go down over onto A. With the pressure on, just not a whole lot of viable situations for him right here. He's going to get spotted by Zealous, and he's going to shut the round down very quickly, as we now have Nova Imperium seeming like the much more dominant team in Search and Destroy, and probably would have expected it to be flip-flop. Typically, we expect Nova Imperium to be the better respawn team, and for Infinix to be one of the top Search and Destroy teams, but they have gotten absolutely nothing out of Tio so far, usually with only 1 kill. Cheto, one of the best snipers in the league, only with 2 kills. They got to get something going for those players if they're going to have a shot, and just like that, they're down a man off the start again.
Yeah, not a great position for Infinix to be in here. I mean, they did get the 2-for-1 trade, so at least Tax is down, but they've really been struggling with High and Swag, in my opinion. I mean, Zealous has also picked up 6 kills, but the timing on the kills that High has been able to pick up has just been absolutely huge for them. It's now a 4-2-man advantage for the side of Nova Imperium. High finds another one onto Envoy. Now it's just Tio, and this is very quickly looking like it could potentially be a 5-1 lead for the side of Nova Imperium. I expected this to be a much closer matchup.
Yeah, and I just don't really know, like, a lot of it is just questionable decisions from Infinix. I don't know why you push 2 men through a tight angle where you already know a sniper is sitting in the back of spawn taking shots. You know that it's High. He's got 8 kills so far, and you go ahead and push it anyway, give him another free kill. Even though you do end up getting the trade, you're already down 2 players, so now you're down to a solo player to try to finish it off, and it just doesn't work. We see once again Nova Imperium off to a strong start. To Tio finally able to get something going. He did get his first kill in the last round and gets a 2-piece right there as well, so looking like he might be able to turn things around, but they're going to need to make it happen fast. They're going to need 5 rounds in a row to give Infinix a shot at winning this matchup. With Swag sitting in the back, picking up another one right there. Drops Dante. It's all on to Tio. He is going to be able to take out High, but needs to clutch a 1v2, and Swag takes the pistol shots over top of the bomb head glitch. Takes him out right there, and a really strong win right there for this Nova Imperium team as they win 6-1.
Yeah, and that was a dominating performance from Nova Imperium. I mean, again, that's a matchup that I could have seen anybody winning, but I mean, I very much expected it to be going very late into the matchup, so I'm really shocked at the performance out of both of these teams. I mean, some of it could be boiled down to obviously Infinix playing with a player they're not familiar with playing with as much. But I mean, you cannot sleep on the performance that Nova Imperium just had. I mean, Swag and High, I think Swag, High, and Vague, all 8 kills on the board, so combining for 24.
Swag
that is huge.
Swag went 8-1 right there. Whew. Absolutely cooking. And a big part of it was Cheto had 2 kills, I think, through like the first couple rounds. I don't think he got a kill in the last 4 or 5 rounds, something like that. It's just not something that we ever see out of him. So I don't know what it was, especially given that he looked like he was feeling pretty good in the respawn, and it just did not translate through to search and destroy. Had a lot of issues dealing with height and swag. We'll see if they can bounce back as we actually start the stream off with back-to-back games of domination. Doesn't happen a whole lot, but should be a fun one to watch. Is definitely a lot on the line for both of these teams, both in regards to points, but also in regards just to their reputation.
Yeah, absolutely. So, moving into game 3 between these two teams is, this is big for Nova Imperium to, again, regroup so strongly after what was a very dominating performance. If I'm just going to be honest. So, going to have to keep an eye out for game 3 here. Obviously, we're going to get a couple players very likely switching up some of their score streaks here. Some of their builds getting ready to move into another respawn mode. So there's a lot that could go ahead of us. But there's also a lot of things that we have to keep an eye out for moving into this matchup. Because again, these are going to be kind of the two teams competing, or two of the teams competing at the top. So seeing them play off head-to-head here early on can give us some more information as we move into finals towards the end of the season. We will be moving into Domination firing range, which I know both of these teams love. And this is a really big score streak heavy map, so a lot could be determined based off how the opening picks go on in this first round. Anybody able to get some score streaks rolling early can really help keep a B flag lockdown, because a lot of those middling score streaks, for example, the cluster strike, yes, it's a higher end score streak. It's not quite as punishing as the VTOL when you get a good VTOL off, but you can hold down a B flag for quite a bit of time with cluster strike.
Yeah, and Vague just barely able to get inside of trailer right here, as we do see Nova Imperium going for control right now. He's going to deal pretty good damage to both players, but not able to get the frag onto either. And some time coming in for Infinix on the B flag as they do push around back of trailer, and may actually be able to flip things and get C right here off to a really good start. They'll have the double cap and actually securing the triple cap right here. Given what we saw last game, to see that off the start, not what we expected. Tio already up to 5 kills, and we see this consistently for Infinix, that they'll struggle in a game mode and they come back the next game with an absolute vengeance. The triple cap coming in, and Nova Imperium just seeming to not be able to do anything about it right now.
Yeah, and this is a big turnaround for Infinix, who again lost their search and destroy matchup last week, not so one-sidedly as we had today, but Infinix definitely need this win here to collect the points. At this point, whichever team wins, you're denying the enemy the 20 points, and arguably Infinix needs it more, because again, they were only to pick up 10 points in their matchup last week, so to deny Nova Imperium the points here would at least tie them up, as they would pick up 10 points obviously from Thursday and then now to today, and then we would have to look forward to Thursday to see who is able to pick up hopefully a 2-0 sweep and take a lead there. But Infinix have been struggling so far this season.
Yep, Tio, 7 kills so far, will not be able to win the gunfight up top against Zealous, but still holding down the double cap. They have looked really good, and we do have Nova Imperium actually taking the A flag right here. Hex perfectly set up to guard the C flag. This could be a good sign for them. Unfortunately, it will be Infinix taking back the A flag very quickly, and right now, Tio is just on an absolute rampage, only 60 points off his Goliath. This early in the first half, very good sign for them. He's got the Pred missile as well in case he needs to call it in. He's going to be able to clean up the B flag. Spots Vague, takes him off the head glitch, and just like that, a solid B cap with solid mid control as well. Hex is able to get the frag from up top of 10. He's got that chopper and looking to maybe take the B flag their way. He hears the player up top. It doesn't matter. Tio drops him right there. 10 kills on the board for him as he gets the assist here as well. And it's seeming to be his game, especially after a rough search and destroy. And Infinix is going to go into the half with a 40-point lead.
Nice work.
Yeah, and again, Infinix desperately need the win here. Tio popping off strong here in Domination, obviously, we didn't see him do really anything in Search and Destroy, which is very, very unusual. Cheto as well struggled all through Search and Destroy and is doing great for the team right now. Looking over at the side of Nova Imperium, High and Vague are both struggling real hard. So just looking at the score streaks that we have available for both of these teams, we do have everybody on the side of Infinix except for Tio running Persistence, which is weird because he has Presidential Goliath Cluster Strike. And then looking over at the side of Nova, everybody except Hack.
He doesn't have Persistence. I did not realize that.
Yeah, he's just having a big game. I mean...
Okay, I was not expecting that, so... We actually see Tatio.
How
is that possible? I've seen him die multiple times, and he's got full streaks right now. I don't know if that's a visual glitch or if that's actually the case, but regardless, full streaks for him is a good sign.
I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it could have just been a good streak while capping, because he's 13, 9, and 5 right now.
We do have Swag pushing top of 10 right here. He's got an Annihilator in his hand, so could pick up some big frags. Dante's going to drop him nice and quick, and everybody in double digits for Infinix. Not a single double-digit player for Nova Imperium, who is just struggling in the respawn today. We don't typically see them struggle like this. We know that they've got a lot of really good snipers that allow them to succeed in Search and Destroy, but to see this amount of dominance in both respawn matchups going the way of Infinix is not what I expected to see at all. Really thought it would be a pretty even matchup, but the triple cap comes in again. Infinix, once again, in complete control. Tatio trying to clear off that flag. Swag will be able to win the gunfight, but probably too little too late, as they are now in need of a triple cap to get the win here.
Yeah, and Infinix are just dominating right now. We actually did see Nova pick up a couple kills there, but as you mentioned, they need a pretty sizable triple cap to make the comeback. I mean, they are down 74 points right now on the scoreboard. So, I mean, Infinix, as long as they can hold an A or a C at this point, they secure themselves a win. They secure themselves 10 points, and they would then deny Nova Imperium any points.
We do have lots of cluster strikes on the way in. Tio getting ready to call in his Goliath to hopefully secure the win right here and prevent the triple cap for his team. We do see Hack's going to drop right there, and it will be Tio over on the C flag. That will prevent Nova Imperium from having any type of a shot at getting the win here. They just won't be able to make that rotation in time, and especially with Tio in the top of 10 inside of Goliath. Going to be next to untouchable unless we get some absolute perfect Annihilator shots, and regardless, it's too little too late. 149, only a point needed for Infinix to close this one out, even though they would definitely like to be higher on the leaderboards right now than they currently are. A good win for them against a Nova Imperium team that gave them a lot of issues in the championship of Mobile Mayhem Season 3, so to see them get that dominant of a win in a couple of respawn games is definitely a good sign for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they desperately needed it here to not only get themselves the 10 points, but to deny Nova the 10 points. I mean, again, if you guys were with us last season, you know that we did change the scoring system a little bit. You don't lose points for a loss at this point. But, again, a lot of this is going to play out towards the end of the season. I mean, these 10 points could very much so make a difference, especially if we see these teams struggle at all throughout the season.
Without a doubt, we will go ahead and take a look at our standings real quick. I believe those should be updated pretty soon here. So you can see previous to the update in the scores, Infinix, and it actually is updated now, so Infinix moving up to 20 points. Division 1, it seems like we always have one division that's just way behind the other, so looking like Division 2 is going to be, at least off the start, the stronger division. Keep in mind, it is very early, and some of these teams haven't even played 2 games yet, so not necessarily an indicator of what this is going to look like throughout the season. But Infinix and Fierce, the only teams in Division 1 that have picked up any points. Strike Zone obviously already played today, but a lot of the newer teams, or maybe the younger, less experienced teams over in Division 1, it seems like Infinix and Fierce the only well-established teams. Meanwhile, you've got powerhouses like Turbulence, Nova Imperium, and Tribe over in Division 2. More than likely, that will be the fight for the semifinals that is going to be a blast to watch. I'm interested to see who's going to make it into the semifinal playoff spot over in Division 1. I would say I wouldn't really know at this point who to pick between Strike Zone, Violence, and Xset and Fearless. I feel like all four of those teams are pretty close to the same level, so should be fun to watch and see who manages to make it into that playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really exciting teams to watch in this particular season of Mobile Mayhem. Obviously, there's more teams in rotation, which, again, as Bobby mentioned earlier, guys, there will be a couple games each week that are off stream. But we will also, keep you guys updated on those matches, I'm sure on social media. As we get the numbers here, we'll obviously let you guys know as well. But yeah, Fearless versus Xset should actually be a really good match. Xset is a team that I actually think has a lot of potential, that has just struggled a little bit in the consistency department. And obviously they're going to be up against Fearless, who is a newer team to Mobile Mayhem, but another team that has a lot of potential ahead of them. So I am pretty excited, Bobby.
For sure, we've got Xset getting loaded in as we take a look at the schedule for there's the schedule. Fearless versus Xset. Our final match of the night is going to be Fierce versus Tribe. So Fearless being one of the newer teams, or one of the newest teams, I guess, to Mobile Mayhem. They won their playoff against whoever it was and ended it going up against Turbulence, who we saw have a pretty dominant win earlier tonight. Pretty similar, I would say, in skill level to Strike Zone and Xset. Xset a little bit more veteran, but have struggled a little bit as of late in Mobile Mayhem, so we'll see if they can turn things around. We know they've got a lot of talent on that team, so much of it just comes down to consistency, especially from players like Impulsive, Meralto, and Skill.
Yeah, absolutely. I would have to agree with you on that one, Bobby. There's so much potential. I mean, Meralto has been, since his addition into Mobile Mayhem, has been one of my snipers to watch. We definitely, again, just see him over at the side of Fearless. Steezy and Lethal and Shield have all had phenomenal performances here, so I think this is going to be one of the good matchups that we get to see out of these guys. I think these teams are very even as far as their matchup, and this could be another one that we see go to Game 3, Bobby. I mean, that's very, very possible.
Yep. It could be that we just go to Game 3 in every single game tonight. Let's see, what time is it? 8:24. God dang. Y'all are going to make us go to 10 o'clock.
Anyway, right?
Yeah. I see Zim adding me in chat. Did he say something in the server? Wait. Let's see. Yeah, my mods are fine. I added a new. I'll add Zim as a mod. Let me mod Zim. Is Sylvia in chat as well? I think Sylvia's already a mod, but I'm not positive. Yeah, she's already a mod. Zim said I now have infinite power. There we go. You guys can't get mad at Zim, so booyah.
Oh, we can absolutely get mad at Zim.
Well, yeah, they can, but at the end of the day, Zim doesn't give a crap whether or not they're mad at him, so.
Not wrong.
We do see the Razorback in play, which is not something we've seen a lot, really at all, in competitive COD Mobile, but got a pretty big recoil buff recently, so we'll see whether or not we get some usage out of that Silva. Using the nerfed Echo up top of 3-story, and we do see Xset going for control right there. They've got the Hardpoint. They've got control of 3-story. Looking very strong off the start against this Fearless team.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, would expect to see that with it being a team that was previously in Mobile Mayhem. And again, a lot of potential. Definitely is an incredibly strong player for this team's skill. We've actually obviously seen really step his game up. And when he started off as a player that, I mean, pretty much struggled for this team for a very long time, as well as Silva. And they've really turned things around in the past couple weeks of I and them. Skill currently top fragging for the team. Also, as we mentioned, is a phenomenal sniper who's actually going for respawn sniper right now. And we have a lead for the side of XSET right now with 42-0. Potentially could find the closeout. Shield did come through, find the kill, and it's well easy. Those trades do go over pretty quick, and there's points on the board now for the side of the field.
Yeah, and XSET looking phenomenal so far. Skill already with 6. We know he's one of those players that they really need to see make those big plays to give them a shot. He's able to do so far, especially with Impulsive out for them right now. But just like that, Lethal pushes in. I think it's a 3 or 4 piece with the sniper on the inside of the hardpoint. And they're going to be able to take control for the time being. Lethal rotating back alley to try to find some additional picks here too. Steezy finding some with the Razorback, and Lethal going to pick up another onto Code. We do have XSET pushing into the hardpoint to take control, but seeming like Fearless finding a little bit more of a rhythm after a slow start, and Steezy holding down. The thing about this Razorback is they call it an SMG. It's really an assault rifle. There's very, very few SMG qualities of this. It has very low recoil. It's pretty good at range. Doesn't have great mobility, and we see him not able to quite make the most of it right there. And we currently have an unoccupied hardpoint.
Hardpoint is ours.
Yeah, I mean, the Peacekeeper from, I believe it was Black Ops 3 was very, very similar to what we have here at Razorback. It has a lot of AR qualities with, obviously it has range, some of the bullet damage carries over, but it doesn't have the fire rate that a lot of the submachine guns do. So some of the close-up battles, you definitely do have the opportunity to lose out there in comparison to some of the other weapons that are available. So keep an eye out for that, see how the Razorback ends up working out for them. Steezy obviously struggling a little bit right now. I would expect to see him maybe later throughout the season or just in upcoming weeks switch off of that and to use something a little bit more consistent. But I mean, still, I mean, this could be it. He could just be having a bad game, and this is actually some broken weapon for him. So glad to see.
We do have 3 players now in double digits for XSET who could potentially close this out on P4. With the way things are going so far, it would not be too surprising to see just nothing seeming to go the way of Fearless. They've not been able to win their gunfights, and with the operators on the way in, you can see the Annihilators filling up the feed. I believe Code just picked up a 4-piece, looking to make it 5. He's not going to be able to do it, but mainly because his teammates are getting so many kills, and he's going to go ahead, call in the Pred Missile. Doesn't really matter at this point, only a few more seconds needed, and Fearless not going to be able to get anywhere close to this hard point. And based on how game 1 is gone, looking like this might be our first matchup of the night that doesn't go to a game 3.
Yeah, I mean, still a toss-up. I mean, we saw a pretty one-sided matchup in our first match of the night that ended up going to a game 3 anyway. Boy, what team was that? They made a big comeback. They were is that Strike Zone, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, Strike Zone against Turbulence. They made a big comeback in Search and Destroy standoff. So there's a lot of potential that this could still potentially go into a game 3. I mean, looking at XSET, they just fragged super hard in that last game. I think they had 4 players in double digits. So for it being a quick game, being in double digits is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, we'll already get most of our players readied up and good to go. Fearless very much needing a big turnaround after that. Trying not to be stuck down at that 0-point marker, both of these teams. Regardless of who's the winner, we will have one team able to move up off the 0 points, and looking like XSET definitely has the advantage right now. That veteran leadership coming in handy is, even though they've been knocked out of Stage 4, or the COD Mobile Championships in general, Still trying to continue to grind and work toward whatever it is that is in the future of Call of Duty Mobile. It's not going to end with the current championships, and lots of things still to come as we get ready to hop into firing range search and destroy. Obviously, the sniper is going to play a really big role. Lethal had been really good, even though he wasn't super consistent in that game. Made some big sniper plays. We'll see if he can make that happen again, as he'll be going up against Meralto.
Yeah, and those sniper plays are a little bit more valuable here in, excuse me, in search and destroy. So we'll have to keep an eye out for them. Again, an early pick is great, especially if you're able to pick out the enemy sniper here early on, because then you take away that late So snipers play quite a bit. A fantastic thermite there from Orbital. Is able to pick up an early kill onto Deathleys, and that's big for the side of Fearless.
I honestly don't even know how the thermite was hitting him for that long, but right off the start, Fearless looking really good. Lethal hops up to take out Meralto. Only 2 players going to remain. Flexing a little bit as we see the screen shake right there, and Skill now the only player remaining. He will spot Steezy, not able to get the frag, and a 5-0 for Fearless in round 1. Looking like we might have a repeat of, who was it? Turbulence versus Strike Zone. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely could happen. But, I mean, Turbulence versus Strike Zone, I mean, that kind of came down to the later half. I mean, Turbulence had a massive lead in Search and Destroy and then gave 3 rounds in a row over to the side of Strike Zone. So, again, Strike Zone is a team that have players that have skill. You definitely can't sleep on those guys over there.
We do have Meralto picking up the first blood right there. Big for Xset, and not quite able to land the wallbang. He ends up hit markering right there, and very nearly got another frag to go their way. And a big part of why things fell apart so quickly in that first round was just Deathleys with the untimely death to the thermite, and that really opened things up for Fearless. So with a 1-man advantage, and you can see Fearless still content to play pretty passive. They've got to make something happen. They really need to find a first blood, but Xset not peeking any unnecessary angles, and with the way they're playing right now, it is going to put the pressure onto Fearless. Meralto picks up another one as he takes out Lethal, and now with the 2-man advantage and the bomb is down, Steezy's going to pick it up, but going to need to make some crazy plays happen in order for them to have any type of a shot at getting this round.
Yeah, and they desperately need it here. They had a big opportunity going in from round 1 to pick up that advantage. We actually did have Riots pick up a kill there. He has 2 on the board for himself. Steezy as well has 2. It is a 1-player. Make that 2-player advantage, though, for Xset, as Steezy rounds the corner right into the crosshairs of Meralto.
Yeah, Meralto is perfectly positioned for that. He's going to get another one onto Orbital, and he is hitting all the snipes right now. Oh, we had a glitch player right there. I was a little bit confused because there were somebody standing on the site, and it said that there was 1 player left, but just like that, we'll be tied up at 1-1, and Meralto has got to be the X factor for Xset, especially when it comes to search and destroy. When he's hitting those snipes, they're just a different type of team. He's able to do it and gets the double with the nade off the start. Sometimes when it's your day, it is just your day, and Riot's going to get the frag with the thermite to even things up a little bit right here, but he's going to peek this long angle. Very nearly had another snipe onto Tires, but not able to make it happen. Just barely by an inch missed that shot on the peeking Fearless player below, and Xset still content to sit back, wait for Fearless to make a mistake. Silva gets the frag onto Steezy. Only 2 players remain. Riots and Lethal's trying to get a peek right here, see if they can maybe find a frag. Just like that, Lethal will take out Skill, and only down 1 man is Riots. Lays down shots, but they got to get the bomb, and Meralto shuts things down quickly for Riots. Now it's going to be Lethal all by himself. Will get spotted right there, and trying to peek through, see if he can find the sniper. He has no idea where Meralto is. If he tries to push inside at all, it's going to get shut down. It's not even going to matter as COD takes him out from behind, and we do have Xset taking the lead 2-1.
Yeah, next set would be the favorite team going into this matchup, especially for Search and Destroy. They are a team that, I mean, we typically see XSET struggle a little bit more in respawn. So for them to be coming through a little bit, I guess, behind where I would expect them to be in Search and Destroy and having such a big performance in Hardpoint, definitely could spell disaster here for the side of Fearless if they aren't able to find things together. Also almost finds the headshot there, unable to land it. And we may be getting a bomb plant off easy, but right now it's a never mind. 4v1 advantage. Now it's a 2v1 advantage for the side of XSET.
I mean, Riot is cooking right now. He's winning some crazy gunfights, so he's going to go for the rotation outside of trailer and see if he can maybe find one right here. Takes out Skill just like that. It's a 1v1, I believe. Has taken out either 3 or 4 players so far. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a UAV equipped, so if that had been 4 players, could have called it up into the sky, but now left to play a guessing game to see if he can maybe wrap around and try to get the bomb. We do see Meralto with a sniper in hand, and not an ideal situation for Riots as he can pretty much sit back, play patient, and wait for Riots to push through one of the angles that he's looking at. Very nearly had perfect timing on that, but that's actually going to allow Riots to push over toward truck side. Could have an easy push right here. He spots Meralto. He's able to clutch things up. And just like that, Fearless will tie things at 2-2.
That was a ginormous round for Riots there. He's got 8 kills on the board now to lead his team, keeping them in this, and actually overtakes Meralto there as top fragger for the team. So again, I don't know if that was 4 or 5 for him. I don't know if that was the perfect ace, but one way or another, that was a big round to even things up 2-2. And this being the last round for them to have offense, this is kind of the last round that Fearless will have a little bit of control over where the rotation goes. The nice thing about having the bomb in your possession is that you can send all 5 players to one bomb, whereas the enemy team obviously has to kind of split things up, look for picks, make the calls. But it's we're also picking up a early kill there onto Shield. Steezy does answer back with a kill onto Deathleys, who is struggling so hard right now.
And Skill finds the shot onto Steezy. The advantage will go to XSET once again. Lethal trying to find Meralto, and he's actually peeking the wrong angle, but will manage to survive right there as he's getting hit markers, but Meralto drops. What a shot. Abusing that head glitch code, trying to peek through right there, not able to spot Lethal. He's actually able to get the reload. He gets the shot onto Silva. Now it's a 3v1. It's all down to skill. He's trying to land shots onto Orbital. He's able to do so, but Riots finds him from behind, now moving up to 10 kills. Double digits through 5 rounds, and Fearless takes the lead at 3-2.
Yeah, and this is huge for Riots. He's popping off hard for the team right now when they need him to. And that's big because, again, going into this matchup, these are 2 very evenly matched teams that XSET were able to win a just dominating performance in Hardpoint. So for Riots to be able to help his team carry through here, we definitely need to see Shield come a little bit online and, I mean, not, you know, of course I'm not talking bad, but to carry a little bit more of their own weight. Orbital is able to pick up a kill onto Meralto, and that is a big hit for the side of Fearless here. And unfortunately, Shield once again runs into 2 players of XSET and will get gunned down. It's now a 2 versus 1 advantage for the side of XSET as they do have bomb as well. They're going to get a free plant here and very likely looking to clean up this win.
Yeah, Lethal seemed to have the perfect angle, but wasn't able to make it happen. He was able to get the initial bomb planter, and I don't really know what was up with the hitboxes on that one, but with only 30 seconds to work with, and he's playing pretty passive. He's got to do something different. He spots a leg right there. Just waited a little bit too long, and now forced to make a push right here. Skills waiting on the backside. Not able to hit the shots. He's getting pushed. Deathleys takes him out. Even though Deathleys hasn't had a great game so far, it will be XSET evening things up at 3 rounds apiece. And having flip sides, it looks like... Honestly, that round didn't really tell us a whole lot. That was kind of a very hit or miss round, and things just ended up going the way of XSET. But right now, I mean, if you're Fearless, you just need more from Shield. Only 0 kills? You just can't have a player with 0 kills if you're going to have a shot at winning a game like this.
Yeah, and Shield was one of the players that we saw through the last week consistently top frag for this team. So this is Definitely a big handicap that they have going on right now. We've mentioned it over and over. Riots is having just such a crazy game right now and such a strong performance. We do have Xset potentially making a side rotation is where they've seemed at least the most comfortable playing, but playing very, very cautious as, again, they were able to even things up 3-3, and it doesn't look like they want to give an edge over.
And it looked like Moralto had a lot of opportunities to hit a snipe up to top 10, and for some reason kept trying to shoot through wood, and I believe the bullets hitting wood actually was hitting 2 walls right there, which was the reason he wasn't able to get any of those. So if he can clean up those snipes, it'll open up things in a big way for this Xset team. They're going to push super aggressively through mid. Every player's going to stay alive right now. They've got complete control. Orbital will be able to take out Trovo, but a trade comes in as Deathly takes him out. Moralto trying to spot Riots on the back side, but he'll be able to hop over toward bathrooms. The plant coming in onto the A site. And Moralto just barely missing another snipe right there. The man advantage going to Fearless. And even though the bomb's
Silva.
down, wow.
Oh, man.
Big frag for them. Steezy gets the refrag. And now a 1v2. Moralto needs to find the pick, and he needs to do it soon. Nobody inside trailer. Smoke's going in. He's not going to have anything to work with. Steezy's going to be able to shut it down pretty quickly. They'll be able to get the defuse, and Fearless will retake the lead at 4-3.
Yeah, Fearless played that exceptionally well. They knew they were able to wait out Xset, who again was playing very much on the defensive, even though they had bomb. And I would like, moving into these next couple rounds, to see them play a little bit more aggressive. Again, you have the advantage of having all players being able to make the same rotation. You are at the slight disadvantage that obviously the enemy team is going to get set up, but with Moralto being able to peek some of those long-range corners, specifically over by A, to help out, even if he doesn't get the kill, he's able to make call-outs. The rest of the team can play cautious around that. I would like to see them play a little bit more aggressive on offense.
And we actually see Moralto playing B-site. This is not something that you see a whole lot out of sniper players, but still trying to play some of those off angles and see if he can find anybody. Excuse me. No, chat, I don't have corona. Sneezing is not a symptom of corona. I've checked multiple times because chat thinks I have corona every time I sneeze. Moralto trying to land shots over the heady onto Riots, but can't make it happen quite yet. Just holding down that car area. Nade's going over top, and he's going to be blinded. That's going to be an easy frag for Silva. Opens up the push. We do have another shot coming in. Shield will drop. Been able to pick up 2 kills, but gotta get more, and now the plant goes down to B. Silva's going to be able to get it right there. Moralto holding down the right side angle. Deathly's holding down tires, just waiting to see if they get any type of a push. Lethal will be peeking that soon. Trying to find the long angle shot, but if you're Xset, you really don't need to peek it at all and give any type of opportunity, which they're not going to do. You can see Lethal now peeking the mid angle, and Moralto peeking that little spot through mid. That's just one of the most OP spots in the game. It's going to be all down to Steezy. He's got a 1v4 with 12 seconds on the board. It's not a manageable situation, and he's going to drop to Moralto once again, now moving up to 11 kills, and we're evened up once again at 4-4.
Yeah, and this has been a very back-and-forth game. I mean, this is more like what I expected Search and Destroy for Infinix versus Nova Imperium to be. I would have imagined those teams going in very even, so both of these teams having a good showing here. Riots has fallen off a little bit for the side of Fearless. I mean, he carried super hard in the early stages here and kept things even for the team, but we haven't seen him get a kill in a couple rounds. In fact, we've seen him die very early in these rounds, which, again, playing on the defensive side is not ideal, but man, Moralto finds the better half of Lethal there and picks him off that head switch. This is a clear opportunity for Xset to push in. They're going to get a free plant and then be able to set up defense with a man advantage as well, as we do have Silva going prone here, and ideally getting the bomb plant down. I mean, are you disconnecting here, Silva? What's going on, bud?
I'm down.
We got Moralto on the backside. Actually didn't see anybody cross over into trailer. That could cause some issues. We do have the plane going down. Here's the player from trailer or from bathrooms. He's gonna hit marker onto orbital, hits the follow-up as well. Now a 3-man advantage for Xset. Couple big frags coming in for Steezy right there and making this more manageable. Once again, gonna slide the corner into trailer. Perfectly played. Oh, nearly turned. Wasn't quite able to make it happen. If he had made that happen, that would have been the clip of the year, but unfortunately for him, Xset starting to get more and more solid, largely in part to Moralto's success with the sniper, now up to 13 kills, like you said. Riot struggling, has not gotten a kill, I believe, since round 5. I believe he had 10 kills through the first 5 rounds, and now 4 rounds in a row that he hasn't been able to pick anything up. They need to get something going from him. Honestly, as well as Shield and Orbital, Lethal and Steezy. I mean, it's been a long time since Steezy's got a frag either. I feel like he's been stuck at 5 for a long time. And
Steezy got a double kill last round.
Lethal, or I meant Lethal. Yeah, Lethal is what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a rough spot to be in, especially with it now being match point for the side of Xset here. If they're able to get an opening pick, this would put them in a great position. Moralto obviously has been looking for it, but it looks like we might get a B-side plant now coming out of the side of Xset. And again, this is one thing I really don't love about the Xset team is they play so passively sometimes, and you almost can't afford to do it. But with an opening big kill feed going in their favor there, that will give them a huge opportunity. 4 versus 1 with bomb down, shy of an absolute miracle. This should be a this should be an Xset win for sure.
Yeah, Moralto shuts it down in the last round, and just a huge game for him as we do have Xset getting the sweep. That'll be a 2-0 win for them, very much needed to allow them to move off the bottom of the leaderboards, and no surprise to see Moralto up at the top. 15 kills for him. Just absolute beauty of a game as he goes 15-6.
Yeah, that's certainly a big one for them.
And with that, we'll be ready to move into our final matchup of the night. If I'm not mistaken, that will be Fierce versus Tribe. I would say, honestly, we had like 2 marquee matchups of the night. Infinix versus Nova Imperium, but really Tribe versus Fierce. Another really good matchup, a lot of experienced players. And we know this Fierce roster is going to be even better than what we saw on Thursday because there are a few players that have joined the roster from... I believe from Arsenal that were suspended for 1 game, but will now be able to play for the team. So definitely going to make things very difficult for Tribe.
Big names.
Yeah, really big names. I believe Shadow being one of them, Mike being one of them, maybe a couple more that I'm forgetting. But this is definitely going to be a stacked Fierce roster and one of the ones that will likely be favored to win Season 4 of Mobile Mayhem.
Yeah, there's big potential for them. I mean, again, especially with how much they struggled trying to, get roster things sorted out in these last couple seasons. So, I'm again glad that they were able to pick up some players. Obviously, with the Arsenal roster dissolving, that freed up some space. Big Mobile Mayhem names coming through here, obviously, on this roster. So, Fierce, I mean, honestly, this is, I hate that I say it so much about a bunch of these teams. But I put Fierce right up there with Infinix, right up there with Nova Imperium as well, and just how strong of a roster this is. I mean, Forsaken, Raballo, Sneaky, Shadow, Main Mike, Renounce, and then Ayak, obviously team manager, but can fill in when needed. I mean, yeah, this is one heck of a roster, Bobby.
Yep, and we've got our Tribe players loading in. We know that Tribe's a good team. We do see Little B loading in right there, and Tectonic, the MVP of the North American Championship's going to get loaded in as well. I'm interested to see if we have any gun changes right here, as we have had a number of balance changes. I know Tectonic kind of likes to mess around with the meta and try out different things, so wouldn't be surprised to see him trying out something different tonight. Loves to rock the off meta and just make it work for him. Especially with the changes to the Razorback, I wouldn't be surprised to see him using that, given that it's now very similar to the GKS. So that's definitely a possibility, but we'll have to wait and see. I appreciate the gifted sub from SCR. Thank you, thank you. Can we get some sub hype in chat? GG's to Moralto. Great game out of you, sir. And now we're just waiting for our Fierce players to join up before we are good to hop into our final game of the night.
Yeah, definitely have some really good matchups here in the future as well. I mean, just looking at some of these teams, like I feel like Strike Zone versus XSET should be a really good matchup. Turbulence, and really any of these top teams. I mean, I really want to see Turbulence up against Infinix, up against Nova, up against Fierce and Tribe. Violence, another team that has had some really strong performances as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for them. And Gravity, we haven't obviously seen too much of, but they're a team that has shown potential. But again, it is another one of those teams that does struggle quite a bit with consistency, or at least they have so far.
And just like that, we are going to get loaded in very quickly here. That was way faster than I expected. We do see Shadow joining Fierce as well as Mike. So two of the former Hammer/Arsenal players, the roster that ended up disbanding, joining us right here. Obviously, we do see the Akimbo Fenix. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of that, especially with some of the smaller maps that we played. And despite the nerf to the shotgun, main Mike still pulling out the buy 15 and looking like he's going to go with his old trusty shotgun to see if it'll carry him through. We do see, I believe, Little B actually pulling out the GKS off the start, and he's actually going to be using the new operator, which is the, it's not the shield turret, it's the, it's not the riot shield either. I can't remember the name of it.
I don't remember either. But I mean, this is kind of some of the stuff that will happen with new updates as well. We're going to see a lot of gun changes, as we've already seen. And
It's the shield with the fully automatic pistol in it.
Yes. I don't remember what it's called.
Okay. Regardless, Little B with a strong start. 4 kills on the board for him. He will hold down the hard point for the time being. Childs picks up a couple before he drops, and really frags going back and forth. No clear leader. We do see Little B having a really solid game so far, as he's now up to 5 on the board, and pretty solid across the board. Just if you got the lead, if you're Tribe Gaming and Tectonic is bottom fragging, that is typically going to be a good sign, and it looks like they're going to be set up well to make the rotation over toward next, as Child's controlling the top control center. Little B getting ready to hop down. Will hit shots onto Shadow, and they'll be set up for P2 as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a big open for Tribe. Again, a team that has struggled for a long time. All through Season 2, I mean, we just did not see great performances out of them. They came back hit or miss in Season 3, which again was just nice overall. Signs of life from them. And then this is a big start here for Tribe in Season 4. They had good games on Thursday of last week, and they are so far starting off Hardpoint pretty well here on Summit. But again, this map can change very quickly. These first 2 Hardpoints are very contested over. They're very hard to take a massive lead early on. It's these next couple hard points that we have ahead of us that we're really going to have to look at what players we're sending on each team to try to win the anchor fight, and who's able to get those anchors and hold down the hard point.
And you can see Tribe was pushing out for control of those spawns very early, and ends up backfiring as Fierce wins every single one of the gunfights that they needed to be able to clean that up. And oh my gosh, Shadow melting through this team. Childs just couldn't hit his shots early enough. A bunch of players gonna drop. He is able to get the frag, but probably too little too late, as Fierce maintains control of that hard point, and nobody on Tribe able to get anywhere close, as Fierce is doing a really good job of holding this down. We do see main Mike with the shotgun. No surprise to see him on the inside of the hard point. That's the one situation where you got to get the advantage to the shotgunner, and just like that, drops Marshy. We get a contest once again, takes out Tectonic as well, and showing the shotgun's by no means obsolete. Even if they did nerf it a little bit, still looking pretty good. And with control of the hard point, Mike good to go ahead and make the rotation toward next as well. See if they can get an early break.
Yeah, this map is very, very drastically going to come down to who's able to win the next couple anchors. It does look like we have a pretty big position here for the side of Tribe to be set up to defend. Obviously, we have Leon coming down over towards what would be a search, is now in a gunfight after killing Sneaky, is trading shots with Renounce, who is very, very hesitant to make the push, but finds the headshot over the rock there. And Leon actually gets bad spawn. That's a good sign here for the side of Fierce that they may win the anchor.
And Marshy's all by himself, now just trying to stay alive to see if he can maybe anchor spawns. You got players pushing out all over the place. He's able to take out Shadow, takes out Main Mike as well, and Marshy single-handedly keeping Tribe in this because he was able to anchor right there. He's going to be set up. Unfortunately, it's Raballo on the outside getting the Annihilator kill, but Tribe is good to go. They're set up to get the rest of this spawn time. You can see Fierce spawning all the way across the map. Raballo now going to have to settle for rotating toward next, and despite that, we do see Fierce looking good in the feed right now. Pretty even across the board in regard to kills. It's surprising to see Tectonic down at 2 kills. Typically one of the more consistent players in all of Mobile Mayhem, so the fact that it's this close with him struggling that much is a really good sign for Tribe.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're moving back into the starting couple hard points, which again are at the beginning of the game a little bit of a toss-up between the two teams. But you have score streaks available at this point. You've got Annihilators, just in general operators available at this point. And it does give you a little bit more opportunity to win the fights a little bit more convincingly. Right now, that's going over to Fierce, but it's still very possible that it could switch over at any point. So keep an eye out for Tribe. Trying to make some push here on these next 2 hard points because they actually have a big advantage now. I mean, they don't, if they lose anchor, they don't just lose the game at this point. They have a chance to stop the next 15 points from coming out of the side of Fierce.
And you can actually see we do get the contest coming in for the time being. That will prevent Fierce from being able to win on this hard point. But Tribe's got to get some really good holds if they're going to have a shot at winning next. We actually see Tribe Little B pulling out the, I guess the ballistic shield is the name of it, as we see him picking up some frags. He's going to go ahead and set up his sentry gun, and hopefully that will allow them to hold for the time being, but bad timing as we do see, oh my gosh, he gets points for the defense, he gets points for the kills, and Little B cooking right now as he's now up to 18 kills. Unfortunately for him, we actually are going to have Sneaky onto the hard point. He's able to get the kill. Saves the game for the time being, but once again, they need some really good time on the hill. He's going to throw down the Goliath, and Mike going to be able to take out one. Little B able to stay alive just long enough with him pushing onto the hard point and Goliath. It'll give them the time on the hill for at least a little bit longer, able to take out a Annihilator as well. They're going to continue to take upward, but they've also got to think about pushing out for spawns on next as well. He's going to drop. It's now a battle for the hard point. 15 seconds. Challenge calls in the grab spikes. He's staying alive a little bit longer. They'll be able to move on to a next hard point.
Yeah, and that was big for Tribe just to hold themselves in the game here. Again, they were able to deny the 15 points. Main Mike doing all right with the shotgun despite the nerfs. He does have 13 kills on the board, not popping off quite as hard as Raballo or Shadow. But Little B, I mean, again, this is a player that was not originally going to be a starting player for the Tribe lineup and has come through incredibly strong in these previous couple seasons. I believe he finished that game 22 kills on the board. Did, however, go over to Fierce as they were able to win the anchor and win the gunfights there for that last hard point. Closing things out, they'll move us over into Search and Destroy with a 1-point lead.
Yeah, that was a really big game for Marshy as well. He just made a lot of crucial plays on the hard point. Unfortunately, wasn't able to stay alive at the end right there. And Tectonic just really struggling the whole time. 5 and 18, not a stat line that I think I've ever seen from him before. So had he been able to get things going in that matchup, it may have been a completely different story. But unfortunately for them, they will drop game 1. Getting ready to hop into game 2. Tribe's been very hit or miss in Search and Destroy. They're an extremely aggressive Search and Destroy team, so if they're able to catch the opposing team off guard and get the right angles to push, then it goes their way, and it goes their way big time, but if it doesn't, things seem to fall apart very quickly. So having Little B on this roster as their primary sniper does make a really big difference in that regard and allows them to open up things a little bit more with a first blood from the sniper. I don't you know what I mean. But yeah,
Sniper blood.
getting ready to hop into search and destroy once again on firing range. Those first picks are so crucial, so we'll see if they can make something happen right here and push us to a game number 3.
Yeah, and we certainly need to see Tectonic do better for Tribe here. I mean, I feel like that's a very big portion on where they struggled in that last matchup. So, you know, if we would have seen Tectonic come through with just a couple more kills, maybe things turned out a little differently. You know, maybe, you know, those couple extra kills that we could have seen coming out of him could have forced the team into a position where, I mean, they didn't lose by much. I mean, yeah, you look at it was 40 points, but comparatively speaking, not a huge disadvantage considering we were on Summit.
Yeah, for a matchup of Summit to be that close is not something you see a whole lot, especially since it is one of those snowball maps for Hardpoint. So I definitely like Tribe's odds here. They seem to improve season after season in Search and Destroy, and we do have some really good snipers over on Fierce, but this is also not a roster that's played together a whole lot. I mean, honestly, you could potentially have 4 snipers. We've seen Raballo pop off with the sniper. We've seen Main Mike do it. We've seen Shadow do it. We've seen Sneaky. Who's going to be the sniper is probably going to be the biggest question for Fierce, and honestly, if somebody's struggling with it, then they'll probably just go ahead and switch it to another player.
Right. So there's a big opportunity for Tribe to make a comeback here and push us into a game 3. But they need to play this super careful because, honestly, looking at the side of Fierce, while they did struggle in the later stages of that game, they were putting in some mad work there early on Summit. So obviously they'd be looking to close things out 2-0 here for Fierce. They want those 20 points. And Tribe obviously looking to push us to a game 3, trying to pick up 10 points of their own, or at least deny Fierce points at this point. Because again, this Fierce roster, while there's going to be some team synergy that needs to get built, this is a stacked roster.
Yeah, and we actually have, I believe Leon was sniping. Marshy has picked up the sniper from him. Cheld's going to send out the smoke as well as the concussion, so this could be an easy frag for him. He's going to be able to take out Sneaky, won't be able to drop Raballo. Trades coming in, 2 players remain for Tribe. Now 1, Tectonic all by himself. He's trying to take shots onto Renounce, but can't get the reload off in time. It will be Fierce taking round 1, and surprised to see the sniper in the hands of Leon instead of Little B. It actually looks like Tectonic is going to be sniping as well right here, while Little B's still holding the SMG. So maybe some potential gameplay changes for Tribe. Maybe Little B just trying out some different roles. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out for them. It's no first blood in yet, and once again, Main Mike gonna get the free plan over on that. Oh, I thought it was gonna be free until the nade came in for Marshy.
Yeah, that was big for Marshy. He now knows what's going on over here. Not looking like he's gonna find the kill, but that is gonna be a bomb planted now. Looks like we do have Leon reconnecting. Sneaky finds 1. Lilby finds the trade back. Lilby actually finds 2. Man, Lilby has been just such a monster here for this Tribe roster. He dropped 23 kills in that first round. Marshy picks up 1, does get dropped by Sneaky with the pistol though. Now it's a 1v1 Leon versus Sneaky.
Woo! The dark scope by Sneaky, a thing of beauty right there, and knew exactly where he needed to push. Leon not able to win that one. Hasn't yet picked up a kill, and Sneaky now leading all players with 4 on the board, and it looks like they are going to be making the aggressive push over toward the B side. I don't know what I'm seeing from Sneaky's gun right there, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the defense coming in. Little B landing shots onto Renounce. They will be up a player right here. Mike able to get the trade, just barely able to win that gunfight. He'll be able to regen, 3 players apiece, and Leon.
Raballo, man, that was a good gunfight for Raballo there.
Leon drops once again. Little B does end up winning the gunfight. He's been so good for them in both games so far, and now 5 kills on the board. Holding the inside right here. He's going to be by himself against Shadow and Robalo, waiting for them to make that push through that doorway area. And they could not have played that any more perfectly. They waited, they called out the timing, they went through the 2 doorways at the exact same time, got the frag, and perfect execution is going to allow them to now go up 3-0.
Yeah, that was a really big round for Robalo, and again, Fierce, they came off of a very close hardpoint win. They are certainly looking to close things out 2-0. As you mentioned, Tribe is a team that has kind of had some hit or miss performances in Search and Destroy. I mean, towards the middle of last season, we were like, oh, you know, this used to be a respawn team that now looks like they're performing really well in Search and Destroy. That has not been the case moving into this season, so definitely got to see Tribe step things up in the consistency department, because this is now looking like this is going to be a fierce 4-0 lead as Main Mike and Sneaky find the remaining 2 kills of Tribe.
Yeah, and Tribe's going to, I mean, Fierce is going to close that one down pretty quickly. Sneaky returning to the final form that we've seen from him previously. Now 6 kills on the board. Bomb in the hands of Renounce, and there, ballsy play, just pushing straight up the middle, no smokes. They're actually able to get inside 10 right off the bat, and going with a rather random push around the back of the B side. Couple trades coming in. Leon and Little B going to be the only players alive, and now Little B all by himself in a 1v4, and with the bomb going down over onto the B site. The pressure is on, explosions all around him. He's going to get spotted right there, actually. Mike's going to drop him quickly and save him any need to play out the rest of that one, as it looks like Fierce could potentially get a sweep right here.
Yeah, Fierce are in a prime position to be our first 2-0 victory of the night. That would net them 20 points, so that would be great for Fierce. Again, rosters are locked at this point officially. It was at the beginning of week 2 that they had to be locked in, so these will be official rosters that we'll see. We do have Tribe making a very aggressive B-side push, and they may get a plant in, but we do have Sneaky coming around back, as well as Shadow. Shadow does lose the gunfight to Marshy, but Main Mike picks up a kill on Leon and Marshy as well, so big turnaround for Main Mike there. Sneaky, unfortunately, does drop himself with a Molotov, and it's the Tectonic 1v1ing Robalo at this point, as he will pick up 2 versus Tribe. Tectonic has to win this 1v1.
Woo! Tectonic with the 2v1 to finish that one off. I couldn't even see the sniper. It was glitched out for me, so it just looked like he was throwing bullets at him, but ends up winning that one right there, and finally able to get something going. He struggled a lot so far today, but to be able to clutch the 1v2, keep his team alive, definitely really big for Tribe, and pulling out the sniper once again. Looking like he might be their sniper main. He drops Robalo, now evened up, 4 players apiece, trying to find one into trailer as well. Won't have anybody peeking quite yet, but making things more manageable. Drops Main Mike as well, and now a 4v3 as we do see Tribe still sitting back. Typically after they get that man advantage, they'll try to push a site. We do see them now going over toward A. He's got the thermite out. Unfortunately, Sneaky's going to be able to take out Leon Childs. Getting a trade as Renounce drops the bomb in the hands of Tectonic, pulling out that sniper once again. Sneaky in the perfect spot, but the thermite going in, going to put some pressure on him as he's forced to retreat back into trailer. Another concussion grenade actually going to go out right there. No hit marker. And Sneaky now waiting for them, but he's not able to land the shots. ARs, pistols, everything they need. Child's going to take him out with the RPG just for the lulz, and Shadow now by himself in a 1v3 versus the remaining Tribe players. He sees them, barely misses the kill shot onto Marshy, and with his position given away, the bomb plant is going to go in onto B. The pressure is on. It's going to be a tough 1v3. Marshy lasers him over the top, and that'll be back-to-back rounds going the way of Tribe as they bring things a little bit closer at 2-5.
Yeah, it would be a long comeback to see Tribe win this one, but still very possible. I mean, yeah, they would have to win 6 in a row, or rather at this point an additional 4 in a row. But for the next 3 rounds at least, they will have control over the bomb. This does give them a little bit of flexibility with how and when they push. And if you are I mean, after the commanding wins that you had in the first 5 rounds, I think you're feeling like you can fight at least one of the next 4. But they have to play it right. I mean, again, if you sleep on Tribe, yeah, they can definitely punish you. But Sneaky finds Tectonic, and that's a big opening pick for the side of Fierce.
Yeah, that was a beautiful jump shot for him. That opens things up in a big way for Fierce as the Tribe push gets significantly more challenging with that. They're able to get some damage on the main mic, but not able to get the frag. He's actually being chased right now, 22 HP. Probably just trying to bait the Tribe players into making a bad move, but they'll be content to sit back and play for the picks once again. And Little B has actually picked up the sniper from Tectonic and returning to his longtime role as the sniper for Tribe Gaming. We do actually have Shadow sneakily hiding over on the backside, just proning. We can see him on the boxes. Oh my gosh, could not have played that any better. Gets 1 frag, gets 2. Childs is able to get the trade, but the damage has been done. The 1-man advantage now going to Fierce. We do have Mike on the backside. Childs is able to land some shots, not able to get the frag though. They're actually in hot pursuit right now and could potentially get baited, but they're situated perfectly. Childs is somehow able to win that gunfight. It's now a 2v2. Sneaky's hard scoping the angle, but he's not able to get the shot on him. Childs is going to go for the plant right here. I don't know why this is the approach. That just did not seem like the move right there.
They had 8 seconds. They had to.
But you just got to play for the frags. All you got to do is get the 2-piece.
Yeah, that is definitely a possibility, but in the end, it is going to be Fierce taking our first 2-0 victory of the night. That'll net them 20 points, and Tribe, unfortunately, going to be struggling with a big goose egg for tonight, but there's still obviously a lot of tournament ahead of us, guys. There will be obviously more games this season. Some of them will be off stream, and there will be a bit longer of a season this time around. So definitely be keeping an eye out for the score standings. Again, we'll try to update you as best we can for offline matches in the future, as well as make sure you follow Mobile Mayhem on Twitter because there will be updates there as well.
Yep, it's the biggest stream of Mobile Mayhem that we've had yet. 2,500 on the line. It'll be going all the way through the end of the year, so definitely make sure. Are you? Wait, they probably just need a refresh. Yep. Freaking restream. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it'd be that way sometimes, but I do appreciate everybody watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to drop a follow. We'll be back on Thursday with more action for you guys, but that's going to be it for tonight's stream. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys next time.